Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you. I like how Oregon's a neighbor of Alaska and Montana, but it's really my honor to be here. Thank you so much to the National Assembly of State Arts Agencies, and of course to Chair Carter and the NEA, but to all of you from arts agencies from across the country. Really grateful for your work. I enjoyed listening to the presentation about Montana and how inspiring. I'm especially proud of the Oregon Arts Commission. We just had our 50th year celebration in 2017, so wonderful work there going on in my home state. But I'm especially appreciative that you're having this conversation about the arts in rural communities, because we know in general the benefit to our society, to our communities, what the arts do for our economy, the industry, the jobs, and how the arts help us understand different people, different cultures, and give us another way to communicate. So I am and have been a firm believer in the power and the ability of the arts to enrich and connect people, to inspire creativity, but also to transform communities. So I want to tell you a little bit about Clatskanie, Oregon. Clatskanie, Oregon has a population, they're just about at 1,800, so it's pretty small. It's a beautiful place on the bank of the Columbia River. When we went up there recently for a town hall meeting, you could see not only Mount Hood, but Mount Adams, Mount St. Helen, blue sky, big river, snow-capped mountains, beautiful. But that area of our state has really been hurt economically, in large part because of the loss of jobs in the forestry and natural resources economies. They've struggled, but despite those challenges, there have been some very resilient people, spearheaded by 3 local piano teachers. They started the Clatskanie Arts Commission back in the 1980s. Now, my mom was a piano teacher, so I kind of know all about the patience, the perseverance, right? So the Clatskanie Arts Commission stepped up. There was an abandoned building long ago, like the theater that we just saw the picture of in Montana, long ago had been a theater. It was an empty shell of a building, and I saw it, and it was pretty bad. But the Arts Commission stepped up, and they decided they were going to restore the building. They partnered with the foundation. It took about a decade and about $3 million, but when we just had the opportunity to see it revitalized, it has transformed that community. They showed us the film of their grand opening, which sadly I had to miss, but it was absolutely wonderful. Somebody donated a Steinway to the Clatskanie Cultural Center. We looked around. They had purchased theater seats from a theater that was closing in Portland. They renovated them and recovered them, and it was beautiful. The curtain went up, and they had somebody play a song for us on the piano. We were looking at the light fixtures, which were these amazing iron fixtures that were designed by a local artist. Now upstairs, they have City Hall. In the ground level, they have retail space. They have a beautiful ballroom with an amazing wood floor that they use for weddings and other community events. It is an example of how the arts have transformed the community. It is a destination now, and people go there from other areas to participate in events, just to see the work that was done. So a small community transformed by the arts, creating a heart of the not only the city but the region with their new cultural center. And I also want to emphasize, and we heard this in the presentation about Montana, how important it is for students to have arts and arts education. That is part of a well-rounded education. It's one of the reasons I got involved in public policy. I was a mom, marching up to the school saying, "Where's the art teacher? Where's the music?" So we know how important it is to have that in education, not necessarily for people to go on and be artists and musicians, although that's wonderful, but so they can have other ways to look at things, so they can become more innovative and creative and have those experiences. So where does the National Endowment for the Arts come in to this? In many ways. We have NEA-supported work in every single congressional district in the country. including funding for young audiences in Oregon. They do professional development and help artists go into schools and do performances. It is a wonderful, wonderful program. We know the role of the NEA and how important that is, not just in urban areas, but in rural areas as well. Now, I have been in Congress about 7.5 years, and every year it seems like there's somebody proposing to either significantly cut or sometimes eliminate funding for the National Endowment for the Arts and the National Endowment for the Humanities. But we know that for every dollar of NEA funding, there's at least $9 leveraged in public and other public and in private funds, and we know what those investments mean to our communities. So fortunately, there's always been bipartisan support to fund the NEA and the NEH as well. And I'm glad for that, and I know what a difference it makes in our states and in our rural communities. So thank you for all the work that you do to make the arts accessible to everyone, especially in rural communities across the country, and for making sure that the next generation is passionate about the arts. We need that now more than ever. We have some big problems to solve in this country, and it's going to take people with a new perspective and new ways of solving problems, and that's what arts education promotes. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. Really appreciate the opportunity. Enjoy the rest of your day.